Sup witches, Celeste the Silver Cord here, and I am just going to bring a little bit about the Pluto retrograde that we're getting ready to go into. Now, I wanted to go over just a couple little things about Pluto. Now, Pluto is pretty much, because it's so far away and the way it's timed out and everything, Pluto goes retrograde, stations retrograde, and then stations direct about every 6 months. So pretty much the 6 months out of every year, Pluto is in retrograde. So this is a regular retrograde that everybody is or should be kind of used to. It's the normal thing. Pluto retrogrades usually, or pivots usually, trigger things like the dark night of the soul. I mean, it is the planet of the underworld and rebirth, and it can trigger a lot of things like clairvoyant gifts, things of that nature tend to come around the pivot points from when it switches from one direction to the next. And it'll be something that happens to you that shifts your focus. And it just helps you see different aspects of yourself so that you can change and transform and be reborn in new energy. And it's lining up perfectly with everything going on right now. Now, we are getting ready to enter a major retrograding cycle with all the planets. I'll make more videos on those as they come along. We got Saturn and Jupiter going retrograde in May, so I'll be doing those videos for those as well. But for Pluto, so it does this pivot every 6 months. Now, what I find interesting about it is Pluto only returns, like if you do planetary returns in your charts, that is only once every 249 years it takes it to revolve all the way around back to where it was. So for it to make a full rotation cycle takes almost 250 years for Pluto. So give you an aspect of what was going on during Pluto, the last Pluto retrograde in this position was in 1771. And on April 4th, 1771, the first quarantines happened for the bubonic plague. And by March of 1771, the War of the Regulators had begun. And I think that's a cool little history story that you guys should look up. That is where the government of North Carolina made its own government militia to combat the backwoods militia in North Carolina. So very, very similar themes going on. What else was happening around that time? For you history buffs, those who like, what's that show called? Outlander. If you look at the dates in that movie, what they're working within those time frames for where they're located, that was all between 1770 and 1775. So yeah, they were dealing with plagues, upheavals in governments seeking control, oppressing people. All that was going on then too. So that's the cycle that we're in for this retrograding season, since Pluto is the first planet to go retrograde for us. And then it's going to domino. It's Pluto, it's Venus, it's Saturn, it's Jupiter. We're going to get hit with them all this year. This has been a buildup that we have been working towards, guys. So just for this video, I'm just going to focus on the Pluto retrograde itself. I'm drinking my detox water. It's got lemon, cucumber, and mint in it. But, so, Pluto is stationing today and going retrograde. It is at 25 degrees of Capricorn. So 25 degrees brings the 7, brings the mystic, the scholar, and the trickster. So this is a time to really, really search within and really start seeing yourself for who you really are, and seeking out knowledge that calls to you. And it's also calling you to recognize those that are not as truthful as they seem, those who are tricksters, those that manipulate people. So, or if you are a manipulator, or you are highly influential. This is a time to really be mindful of your messages that you are putting out, and just really be, yeah, really be on point. Really look for what is causing those, I want to say causing conflicts, but no, those who have caused you to regret. Because people love to say no regrets, but a lot of people have a lot of regrets. And it's time to really look at those regrets and see how your life would not have played out, and you wouldn't be who you are had you not made those decisions the way you did and did things the way that you did. So Pluto is a lot of internal work. It's a lot of internal work. It's about internal transformation and regeneration. And this is a big time to really face your shadow aspects. Your shadow aspects of your personality, obsessions, traumas, obsessions with traumas. A lot of people are their trauma is such an integral part of their personality that they can't remove the blockages in their life, because that would require letting go of that trauma. And if they let go of that trauma, they don't know what to do. They don't know what to talk about anymore, and they don't know what to do. So, and this goes for you to look within yourself. What obsessions do you deal with, or obsessive thought patterns do you allow yourself to get into that are blocking you from moving forward? And Pluto, when it does these stationing and pivots and turns and does these shifts for us, it really brings the shifts in power, sexuality, and control. Where are you obsessed about having control? How do you feel about yourself? Do you find yourself attractive? Do you find yourself to be a sexual or sensual being? Rediscovering that about yourself, rediscovering your own power. Yeah. Jack of Wands. Definitely rediscovering your own power. That is really what this shift is about. And I know it's shifting into retrograde, but that is where, in retrogrades, in the trials, in the struggle, in the chaos of retrogrades, is where you grow the most and you learn the most about yourself. Victory. And this is calling for a victory over yourself, because this Pluto, today, where it's stationed at, is in conjunct with Jupiter still. So that is the planet of expansion, but it's also the planet of self-control and strength. And this is strength through moderation, right? And believe we're technically in the shadow phase for Jupiter's retrograde now. So, and that begins on May 14th. So that's the focus. It's conjunct now. It's in shadow. Pluto's going retrograde. It's going to be retrograding the next planet to retrograde with it next month on May 14th. So this is control through moderation. King of Swords here. Control through moderation, controlling yourself, monitoring your empire, and controlling those things that you used to procrastinate with. And now that goes back into power, sexuality, and control. What are you doing that is controlling you instead of you controlling it? Things that cause you to procrastinate could be anything. It could be any kind of addiction. You can get addicted to so many things in this world now. I mean, video games, sex, porn, drugs, alcohol, Facebook, YouTube. You can get addicted to anything. And An addiction for me is anything that is distracting you from accomplishing your goals. If you're just sitting around playing video games all day and you're not getting anything done in your life, that's a big problem. You've got to learn self-control. That's really the big message with this conjunction with this Pluto retrograde, with it being in Capricorn too, because Capricorn is also very much into the control and structure as well. So we got Pluto, and then it's conjunct with Jupiter and Pluto are squaring off with Mars. And that's bringing a big message of time for your head to balance out your heart. It's time to, King of Swords, it's time to get control over your thoughts, your words, your mind, and your emotions. And it's time to stop allowing, following your heart is a beautiful thing to do. It is. And it is most definitely an integral part of your path and purpose. But allowing your heart to control you is a very dangerous thing, because your heart can easily be controlled and manipulated by others. Then you are controlled and manipulated by others. So this is balancing out, following your heart and using your mind at the same time. It's not a lack of faith, but definitely calculate your leaps. That will give you faith if you take time to actually calculate where you're going. And in a time where we can't really see where everything is going right now, you need to be in control of your emotions, because a lot of people are manifesting at an incredible rate right now, and you are manifesting at a rate to which you are unaware of. And if you are not controlling your emotions and you're not controlling your thoughts and your words, you are just wreaking havoc on yourself. So definitely keep all this in mind, especially today, especially with this. This is the main station into the retrograde. And as we travel through the rest of this year and the rest of this major retrograding cycle, this is part of like a 2-year cycle, because Mars and Venus kind of line up with that. With Mars is every 2 years, Venus is every 18 months. So this is a big year, and this is a big transition for a lot of people. So just hang in there, guys. I would like to, just before we go, Pluto does pivot and go back direct October 4th at 22 degrees of Capricorn. So whatever you're focusing on now is the seeds of your intention. And then by October 4th, 22 is a master creative number. It is a master manifesting number. And October 4th, I find it funny because it's kind of a date that follows me around. So whatever you're focusing on now, today, with what's going on, is going to be a major theme over the next 6 months. All right? So take a deep breath and relax, because whatever trouble you're having right now, whether it's within yourself or just in general, breathe. You got time to work it out. And don't force your path, but definitely allow things to happen and allow things to fall away and allow retrogrades to shake shit up so that you can find new ways of doing things and adapt. Be mindful of manipulators and those that are either entering the dark night of the soul or entering a phase of, like I said, with the deception, with that 7 and Capricorn, with addiction. Just be aware of people who are taking the other route, those who are deceiving people, those who are taking advantage of people, and those who are manipulating people. that is going to be the two ends of the spectrum. There will be people that are embracing the change, that are following their past, that are following their hearts, that are doing everything with genuine good intent. And then there are those that are out there just to make a buck, just to feed off your fear to make money, because that is how society and capitalism has been running for a long time, is fear makes money. And we're shifting that. That's the narrative that's shifting. That's the great dimensional void, is that's not how we're going to do it anymore. We're shifting out of this constant fear mindset. No, it might not feel like it now. Like I said, 6 months, guys, 6 months. All right. Man. So, Pluto retrograde starts today. I'll be back with more retrograde videos as the planets start to go retrograde this year. I'm pretty sure, pretty sure we've got all of them going on. So I'll be back in May with your Jupiter and Saturn retrograde videos and what we can be looking forward to or watching out for then. And just keep yourself balanced, guys. Keep yourself grounded. Plant your feet on the ground every now and then. Remember, it's not just about releasing the negative energy into the ground. You also must be open to absorbing the energy around you too. So you are a constant circuit. Make sure that you complete it. As you release, absorb, and that's how you will keep yourself. Because if you just release negative energy and leave an empty hole, it's just going to fill right back up. So release and absorb at the same time. And if you like this, please like, share, subscribe, spank the bell to get more notifications. Share with your friends. Leave me some comments. I love hearing from you guys. And I will talk to you by the full moon, if not sooner. Blessed be, guys.